Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Dad Technologies. My name is Evan, and today we are going to be talking about 8 tips that you can use on working from home. If you're subject to currently what's happening in the world, or you're just wanting to transfer from normal office life to working from home, you can use these 8 tips to help you out with the transition. One of the first tips that I can provide to you when you're having to transfer from the office to working from home is, of course, having a adequate networking Wi-Fi Ethernet within your household. Now, normally you may have a house full of people, or it may just be you, but at any rate, there is actually an option within your router, given that you have a router purchased within the past couple of years, that there's a certain amount of bandwidth that you can actually switch back and forth from if one is filling up compared to the other one. Normally it sits either at 2.4 gigahertz, or you can have the 5 gigahertz that actually puts you on a totally different bandwidth. So if people are running off of the 2.4, which is normally the standard, you can actually run off of the 5 gigahertz, and your computer is not going to be nearly as affected as if you stayed on that 2.4. So let me actually show you what I'm talking about here. So if you're just on your main desktop screen, you can actually go down to your taskbar where your Wi-Fi connection would be, and you can click on it, and mine actually is not going to pop up because my computer that I use for filming these YouTube videos is not as current as normal computers. So you may not have this option, but it's something good to check. Anything that would be 5 gigahertz will have your Wi-Fi name, and then there will be an underscore with a 5 next to it, or it might even say 5 gigahertz, the abbreviation for gigahertz. It's something to check if you do have it. If it was your internet service provider that set it up, he most likely made it the same password as your normal router that you would normally sign into. So that would be a good option to check if you're kind of having issues with internet speed. I would say if you have the ability to not even rely on Wi-Fi, try to get your computer as close to your router as you can, so you can go to the store and buy an Ethernet cable that you can just hardline yourself directly into the router. It would be terrible if you were in any sort of like phone conference meeting or important part of your workday and to just have your Wi-Fi drop out. You're just not going to have that issue if you're hardlined in. I know multiple people, including one of my parents and my wife, that currently works from home, and they've had issues just being on Wi-Fi, but they've never really had issues that we weren't able to resolve immediately, being actually hardline in. So all the cables are going to look the exact same. Just go to your consumer store, buy a Ethernet cable. If you don't know what that is, ask somebody at the store. And it's as simple as just plugging it into your router. It's normally in the back of the router, and plugging it into the back of your computer. The ports will look the exact same. They only go in one way. And if you know what a phone jack cable looks like, it's the exact same, just slightly bigger. It has a little tab on it. So it's very simple to do. Just make sure that you buy the right length. I used to work for a consumer electronics store that we had people all the time that would buy the 10-foot cable, but they actually realized they needed 50 feet. So just maybe grab a measuring tape and measure out what you need before you go to the store, so you don't have to go back. If you think that switching from home is going to be a more permanent thing than temporary, I strongly suggest to step a little aside from the technology portion of your stay at home for working, and I would actually go to a furniture store to fit yourself for a desk and a chair. There's nothing worse than being uncomfortable sitting at a chair and having a desk at the wrong size that you actually need. It's just going to make your life a whole lot better if you get an appropriate fitting chair and a desk to go along with it. Almost like going to a car dealership and test driving a car before you actually purchase it, I strongly suggest again to go to a store that actually has keyboards and mouses on display, so you can actually go there, put your hands on it, be able to type with it, see how it feels before you bring it home. versus just going on Amazon or going online and buying a keyboard. Again, this kind of fits the same conversation as your chair and your desk. You just want to make sure that you're comfortable. You want to make the best of your stay while you're working from home, and you just want to know that you can sit there and comfortably type and comfortably use the mouse. I would also suggest buying a wrist pad that would go, I guess it would be closer to you from where the keyboard is and the mouse is, just to be able to kind of save your wrists a little bit if you do lots of typing for your job. Another option going back into your computer, most computers have a blue light filter on it. You're going to want to actually turn that filter on, because if you're sitting there staring at your computer for hours a day, which most of us are, it's really going to start to strain your eyes, and if the lighting in the room isn't appropriate, you're going to realize later in the day when you get off of work that you're going to have this massive headache because you've had this blue light shining in your eyes for hours on end and you didn't realize it because you're working hard at your job. So I'm actually going to show you right now where that blue light filter setting is. So again, if you go back down on your taskbar, I'm running Windows 10. You can, if you're running Windows 7, you can click on your start menu and your search bar will be there. You can probably start with typing in blue light, night light. So you're going to want to select that, and you can hit the turn on now button. That should change the screen. I'm not exactly sure if you can actually see that change, but you'll notice it gets a little bit more yellow almost in color. But that's drastically going to help your eyes throughout the day if you have that just turned on. You also, in the setting, you can set a schedule. So if you don't want to have to remember to turn that setting on, you can always set the hours for when to turn it on, when to turn it off. And then you can always, of course, change the strength of the blue light as well. In addition to checking that blue filter on your computer, you also just want to make sure that you have appropriate lighting in the room. You don't want to be in a room that's too dim or too bright. Again, it can strain your eyes. Even in a darker room, you're going to strain your eyes looking down either at a piece of paper. Your eyes are going to have to work harder. And in a room too bright, well, that should just kind of be obvious why that wouldn't really be the best idea. You can go to any big box store, such as Home Depot or any of your local home goods department type stores. They should actually have pictures and diagrams near their light bulbs of what appropriate brightness you should be looking for. So just take a gander at that, look at it, see what would work the best. Maybe you have to change a couple of light bulbs in the room that you're going to be working, but believe me when I say it will definitely be worth it. If you're not wanting people to be constantly blowing up your cell phone and to just want to be able to put the cell phone completely away, there are multiple services that you can use and sign up for that can replace your phone, such as Skype and Microsoft Teams, Google Voice, various other options. You can just do a couple of quick Google searches that you can actually get a phone number and be able to use that with their software instead of constantly having to use your phone. So if you're like me, you don't necessarily like giving your cell phone number out to clients or coworkers or anything of that sort, this may be a good option for you to be able to use. If your company is also having you work from home, they may also have this option. They may just not have told you about it. So I would talk to them to see if they actually are able to give you a phone service and be able to give you a separate phone number. And the last tip that I have to give for you today is, of course, business-oriented softwares such as Microsoft Office or Google Drive or OpenOffice. It's a good options for if you're wanting to do that annoying spreadsheet that you have to work on for work, or a documents page or PowerPoint. All of these softwares should be able to get you going with that. It is almost crucial this day and age to be able to have that, so if you're not taking a computer home from work, you have to work on your private computer. Google Drive, given that you have a Google account, and OpenOffice are free, or you can purchase Microsoft Office, which kind of varies in price of what you're capable of affording. I think they do actually have a monthly plan as well, so if you're not able to afford a big bulk for a software suite, you can always do the monthly plan. And that's all I have for you guys. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you get notifications of when I post new videos that are pretty much like this. I do have a bunch of other videos on my channel that you can check out. So if you're looking to purchase new cell phones, maybe a new laptop, I think I got you covered. So go ahead and go to my channel. It is still growing. I'm trying to figure out new ideas to be able to do reviews. So if you have any ideas, leave a comment. Please like this video, and we'll see you next time.